the idea now is to talk about hemosiderosis. Now, this is taken from Merck, from this person that wrote it in MERCK MANUAL Professional Edition, so credit to them. Now, just put attention that hemosiderosis, which is a focal deposition of iron as it's written here, uh, Merck take it as something that does not cause tissue damage because Merck doesn't relate to hemosiderosis, which is occurred by a secondary iron overload from big blood transfusion when there are patients with, I don't know, erythropoiesis deficiency, when they have massive blood transfusion and the iron there uh, gets to the tissue and make damage. No, they mean hemosiderosis that occurs usually due to blood loss, like, and there are many examples, like in the lungs or in the uh, pulmonary, in the lungs, in the kidneys, in the liver sometimes. But hemorrhage is the main cause of hemosiderosis that Merck doesn't relate to secondary iron overload, not to hemochromatosis, no, to hemosiderosis usually from hemorrhage. Therefore, it can cause anemia from iron deficiency anemia. Remember that iron that is not in the bone marrow and the hematopoietic system can't be reabsorbed. Therefore, there is a blood. If there is a blood loss, there is all to death tissues, liver, kidneys, lung, intravascular hemolysis that cause the iron to get to the kidneys. So the iron is lost, especially from the kidneys. From hemolysis, there is hemosidenuria, so the iron is lost. But hemosiderosis, as Merck see it, doesn't cause damage. But again, there are different aspects. Different people consider hemosiderosis in different ways. There are sources that consider hemosiderosis as a secondary, I don't know, iron overload, let's say from transfusion, from blood transfusion. There is massive amount of iron and there is damage to tissues. But no, Merck relates to hemorrhage in a tissue, and then a little bit of blood is lost to the tissue, and the iron is deposited in the tissue, and this is called hemosiderosis. But note this difference, note this mark. Now, in the lung, it can come from hemorrhage. Now, what can cause hemorrhage in the lung? Wood-Pastor syndrome, pulmonary hypertension. To the kidneys, it comes from hemolysis in the blood. And Merck says that non-alcoholic fatty liver, the NAFLD, can cause hemosiderosis and also metabolic syndrome. Now, when iron deposit in the liver, there can be massive T2 hypointense signals from the liver. Namely, liver that has a lot of iron in it can be seen as a very dark black liver. Remember this. So, what are the effects? Lung, which organs affected? We said it comes from hemorrhage. Kidneys, from hemolysis, and no damage to the parenchyma usually. Liver, you can see it in MRIs, we said. As you can see here, iron deficiency can be caused because the iron cannot be reused when deposited in the different tissue. Now again, the hemosiderosis Merck talks about usually is focal and usually doesn't cause tissue damage. Thank you very much. If there are any mistakes or corrections, please correct me. This was about hemochromatosis. Maybe you can see some images. You can see here the hemosiderin, which deposit, I don't know from what, from bleeding, I don't know. And you can see the brown staining here also in the lung, the brown staining. This is the iron they deposit. And sometimes you can see a very hypointense liver. Okay, that's it. That's about hemosiderosis. Thank you very much. Again, I don't talk about chelation, and I don't talk about phlebotomy because those usually are used when there is massive or a lot of iron deposit and there is damage. So we need to remove the iron and chelate the iron. But I look at it as Merck said it. Usually, if I just talk about hemosiderosis from a little bit of bleeding in the area, there is no need for this. But don't be confused. If there are any mistakes, please correct me. Sorry if I made any mistakes. And thank you very much. This was about hemosiderosis. And that's it.